on September 8th.
At CBS Sports Golazo Network, we're bringing you the game.
Madness of Messi arrives!
Breaking down the game.
This is unlike anything else in the world.
And changing the game.
Get it all for nil.
That means free.
Whoa.
And all day long!
24/7.
Well, you can never have enough linemen on the roster on any football team, but to have the #1 offensive tackle in the class of 2025, well, that would be a big boost. That guy is David Sanders, and he's the #3 overall prospect in his class, according to our friends at 247Sports. Sanders, a massive 6'5" with versatility. The 2023 Gatorade Player of the Year in North Carolina, spent the season protecting Michigan commit Jaden David, who threw for more than 3,700 passing yards. All signs are pointing to Tennessee for his college commitment, but he is going to make that announcement with us live on HQ. Let's bring in the director of scouting for 247 Sports. We've got Andrew Ivins checking in with us. All right, Andrew, so the crystal ball prediction, 100% in favor of Tennessee here, but just bring us up to speed here. Why Tennessee for Sanders?
Well, I think if you look at David Sanders in that tape, right, he is a very athletic offensive lineman, and I think he's kind of built to play in a spread attack. And you think about Josh Heupel, what he's been able to do in Tennessee since he arrived there. They want to spread you out. They want to throw the football. And to me, David Sanders, he looks like the ideal fit to protect the blind side of Nico Iamaleava or George McIntyre, who's committed to Tennessee, or Faison Brandon in the 2026 cycle. So Tennessee has been in on this recruitment from the jump. David Sanders is a kid that we've been tracking for well over 3 years now. I remember him in the FAU freshman All-American game. He was one of those kids where it's like, who is this? He was our first 5-star prospect in the 2025 cycle, and he has all the tools to emerge as a potential franchise corner protector on Saturdays and then potentially on Sundays as well.
Clemson, Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia. Those are just some of the many schools that are interested in having him on their roster. And as I mentioned in the lead-in here, Andrew, you can never have too many quality linemen protecting your quarterback. What is it about Sanders that makes him one of the best, in fact, at his position in this class?
Well, you said it. He's the Gatorade Player of the Year there in North Carolina. What's funny, David Sanders got snaps on both sides of the ball. He had 32 quarterback pressures, 9 sacks, and I think if he just built himself as an edge rusher, we would rank him in the top 247. He is that athletic. I think when we look at him as an offensive line prospect, it's his ability to react and recover, right? He can extend the arc with his length, but his ability, once he's beat, to self-correct and then push that wall back out, it's what you want. He kind of reminds me of Charles Cross, a former 5-star prospect for us that went to Mississippi State, was selected in the first round, and is now with the Seattle Seahawks. So he's going to be a big get for someone. I think what's also notable here, since 247 Sports started ranking players back in 2012, there's been 47 offensive tackles, 5-star offensive tackles. Only 23 schools have signed him. Tennessee's got 2 in the past. Darnell Wright, Trey Smith, both those guys started a ton of games for the Volunteers, and both are now doing things in the NFL.
I want to go back to the fact that you said he played on both sides of the ball here, which I thought was interesting from your notes, because it wasn't that he was just kind of getting snaps. I mean, 32 hurries, 24 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 PBUs. Very active on either side. He's also a multi-sport athlete, very successful in track and field as well. When you are looking at a guy who you want on your offensive line, how do those other assets, making him so versatile, how does that sort of play into where he's ranked and how successful he's been up to this point?
Well, the more we've studied the NFL draft, right, every year, the guys that are getting selected early on, it's not the big, huge freshmen and sophomores in high school. It's kind of the late bloomers, and you want them long and lean at an early age, and you also want them doing a variety of different things. That multi-sport component is so important because if you think about offensive line, in pass sets, you're reacting to everything that's going on in front of you. You're going backwards, so you need to have the ability to do something else. You mentioned it with David Sanders. He actually swam early on in his middle school days. He was a swimmer, believe it or not, in the pool. The track and field stuff, we've also seen videos of him power cleaning 315 pounds. The biggest thing with him is he's going to have to add mass. He's on the leaner side. He's 280 pounds, but you look at him, you look at his dad, we've met at a few camps. He should eventually be able to carry 300 pounds plus. And I think the other thing that separates him, when you bake all that in, right? So the multi-sport, his reactionary skills, he's one of the few offensive linemen that we've come across in recent cycles that can legitimately play left tackle. And you think about being in the SEC, being in the Big Ten, everyone is coveting these twitched up pass rushers, and you need guys that can neutralize them. We think David Sanders can do that on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's just so interesting to think about swimming, track, football. I mean, it's incredible when you think about the versatility here. Andrew, before I let you go, the crystal ball 100% says Tennessee. We talked about that. If there was a chance for him to flip, who would it be for and why?
I think you got to keep an eye on Nebraska, and I'm going to defer here to Tom Loy, our director of recruiting. He's done an excellent job. He actually was at David Sanders' game there on Friday night, the first one of his 12th grade campaign. I think Matt Rule is quietly doing a really good job there in Lincoln. Last cycle they flipped five-star quarterback Dylan Raiola from Georgia. He becomes the highest-ranked quarterback signee ever for the Cornhuskers. And guess what? When David Sanders took a surprise trip to Lincoln, it was Dylan Raiola that was showing him around town. So we'll see. The read I've always got on David Sanders, he's all about business. I think once he makes his decision, he's going to be locked in, right? I don't think there's going to be any secondary recruitment. I think he's going to show up at the school of his choice, and I think they're going to get him in a developmental program. But I do think Nebraska deserves some credit for at least getting a seat at the table, because a few years ago, the Cornhuskers wouldn't have been in the conversation for one of the nation's best.
Yeah, definitely. They are making some changes there. Andrew Ivins joining us to talk about the commitment, just moments away for our guy David Sanders as he's set to make that commitment live here on HQ. Andrew, thanks for hopping on with us. So we're going to take you to the commitment, where we have our guy Tom Loy standing by with 247 Sports, who is joined by the man of the hour. Tom, I'll hand things off to you.
Welcome, everybody, to Providence Day School in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am 247 Sports national analyst Tom Loy, here with five-star offensive tackle David Sanders Jr., the #3 overall player in the class of 2025 and #1 offensive tackle in the entire country. David, you've been a top-ranked prospect in the country for the last couple of years. I don't think you've ever been outside the top 5. We're here in front of your friends and family. How does it feel to finally be at this moment announcing your college commitment?
It's definitely a great feeling. I've been getting recruited since very early, since freshman year, on visits every weekend. So it's been nothing but a blessing for me and my family, and I'm excited to get it over with.
David Sanders Jr. Official.com. You dropped the website this week, the personal brand, a great logo, might I add. I love the DSJ. But can you tell everybody a little bit about it, what kind of went in the background of it, and what your mission is behind it?
Yes, sir. So that was kind of like a project me and my family started over the summer. So that's definitely something I wanted to have going into college, building my brand. So I really like the logo, and after I commit, the colors of the school I commit to will be on our website.
I love that. So we are down to 4 finalists. We got Georgia, Nebraska, Ohio State, Tennessee. Let's do a quick breakdown of the 4 finalists. We'll start with Georgia. What has the Bulldogs in play?
Definitely just their obvious, they're #1 each and every year. They send top tackles to the league, and they have great coaches, Coach Smart and Coach Searles. They have done a phenomenal job just recruiting me throughout high school and just letting me know that I'm a priority for their program.
You went up to Nebraska, and there was a ton of fans waiting for you when you got up there. Tell me a little bit about the relationship you have with the staff and why the Huskers are in play.
Definitely. Their coaching staff did an amazing job. They were a little late to the party, in my opinion, but Dylan Raiola did a phenomenal job just getting me on campus and showing me a great time. So Coach Rule is a phenomenal head coach, and I think they're going to have a great future ahead of them.
Ohio State's been a top contender for a very long time. Ryan Day, Justin Fry, all those guys have done a great job with your process. What has the Buckeyes in the mix?
Ohio State, they're another school that's just known for developing great offensive tackles at the next level and sending them off to the NFL. They have a great recruiting staff as well. Their entire team they have is really good, and their recruiting class they have right now is #1. So being a part of that would be something special.
Last but certainly not least, the Tennessee Volunteers. I know you enjoyed your time up there on multiple visits. You've been up there. Tell me a little bit about the relationship with Josh Heupel and his staff.
Tennessee has done a phenomenal job recruiting me as well throughout high school, just showing me that I'm a priority for their program. Coach Hype has a phenomenal grip on his program, and just they're going to do good things in the future as well.
All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we are all going to find out where David Sanders Jr. is headed. Stay locked for another 2 minutes. We are back. The moment is here. David Sanders Jr., 5-star offensive tackle. Please tell everybody where you're headed to continue your academic and athletic career.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you taking the time out of your day to come support. First of all, I would like to thank God. Without him, none of this would have been possible. Next, I would like to thank Providence Day. Thank you for allowing me to come into your such prestigious institution. Throughout my time here, I have grown socially, mentally, and physically. This will always be my home, and I am a Charger for life. Next, you have treated me as family ever since I came to PD as a little 8th grader. And I'll forever hold those in my heart. Next, I would like to thank my coaches. Thank you for having so much faith in me to lead your program. It has been nothing short of a blessing to play for such a dedicated, passionate, and loving coach such as yourself. Next, I would like to thank my former offensive line coach, Coach Goody. Thank you for your time and wisdom in the game. You're one of the key reasons I fell in love with playing on the offensive line. Coach Gathers, thank you. Even though I was primarily an offensive player, you helped develop me into a stellar defensive end as well. You also helped me understand when to take a break when I was. I also want to give a shout out to Coach Sarepka, Coach Davis, and the plethora of coaching staff. Next, I would like to give a shout out to my football family. From my former teammates to my current year, you guys are like my brothers. I love each and every one of you, and I hope you feel that on a daily. I will miss break and lunch days, and I will surely miss locker room and group chat talks. We are off to a great 1-0 start, so let's continue the success and have an undefeated season. Want to also give a shout out to two of my best friends on the team, Miles and Leah. Y'all my boys, man, and we have built a great relationship over these couple of years, and I'm gonna be rooting for y'all when I leave in December.
Take your time. You good? Take your time.
And now to my family, to my grandmother, I call her Granny. I love you so much. You're pretty much like a second mom to me. Your endless love and care will never go unnoticed, and your consistent support for me. I know you don't even know much about football at all, but you just want to see me happy, and that's all that matters to you. And my grandfather, Pal. There is so much to say, I don't even know where to start. You have been a role model in my life since I remember when I was a little kid, you always used to tell me one man can make a difference. And I try to live by that each and every day. Watching you cut grass for your entire block and not asking for a penny from anyone really showed me what it means to be dedicated to the change you want to see. It's not always perfect, but you just got to control what you can control. And I love you so much. And I will continue to look at you every day. To my youngest sister, Scott. You'll forever think you're my mom. And I want you to know, brother, I'm extremely proud of you. I love you so much. And you're going to be a special little girl. Just keep that smile on your face. And to my other sister, Ace the Bass. I love you so much. On the entire planet. You would never hurt a soul. Thank you for always checking on brother and Nate. You are the smartest girl in the whole entire world, and I will always keep that smile on your face. Brother loves you. And to my oldest of the youngest sisters, Layla. Lay, I love you so much. Prettiest girl in the whole world. I am so proud of you and your accomplishments. Sports. It has been an amazing experience just watching you grow up. You should be proud of yourself because I am surely proud of you. And I'm proud to be your big brother. And as long as you're good, I'm good. You know who you are, and you know you are my rock. Be happy and set your boundaries. If you ever need anything, I hope you know by now you can always look to me and talk. Overall, I hope I did my job as your big brother. Your love, and most importantly, your role model. I love you so much. You know I will miss you, but you can always come and visit me. To my parents. I've been waiting for this speech my entire life. My dad is not only my dad, but he's my. I couldn't do life without you. This has been an amazing 18 years, and I wouldn't trade it for giving up your dreams to be in my life. I couldn't name one single event that you haven't. You know your job is an understatement. I watched you. A friend and a father. You put your family before yourself. Sometimes I worry about you, but you never fail to make excuses. You just make it happen, and for that I'm thankful for you. I will miss beating you at any backyard activity. and also in the video game. Get to hear you cheer from the stands at the next level, and I hope I've made you proud thus far. I promise you I will continue for installing a work ethic in me and never settle for just enough. I will always strive to be the best, and I say from you and what you have taught me. I love you so much, and I'll miss you a lot. And please don't let the girls. my mama.
Come on.
You're the best mom anyone can ask for. Your love of my life. Love of your family is unconditional, and you would do more for us than you even have left in your tank. It's been the backbone of our family, has definitely not went unnoticed. I see the sacrifices you have made, and to have a stress-free life. You never point a finger at anyone else to do anything for you. Best mom you can be. You have done an extremely great job. From me. Missing you is an understatement because you're my best friend, my mom. You're there when I need to talk, need to cry, or just need a good laugh. You know what I need, whether it's good or bad. You raised a great young man, and I know you're proud of me and my. Just seeing the joy in your face each and every day fuels me to continue to strive and be the best son and human I can. Put pressure on me for anything, and I know I will be okay. This road bump in my life. I love you so much, and I can't wait for the future.
Take it out. There you go. Wipe your face. Take it
To the school I will be committed to. I just want to let you know you're getting a strong, hard-working individual. For each and every day. I will be ready to lead from day one, and this has been a dream of my football. So for that, I will always put my all into it. I cannot wait to get on campus and most importantly, host that national championship trophy.
That's all.
For the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be committed to the University of Tennessee.
Huge win for head coach Josh Heupel. Scales for the Volunteers.
The Volunteers, they've been on top for a very long time. Coach Heupel and that coaching staff, they've done an amazing job for me and my family. And just having that support, showing that love from the beginning of the recruitment process to now, they just deserve to be as a player.
Everybody here clearly knows person, but for Vol Nation out there, what are they getting in David Sanders Jr.?
They're getting a hard lead from day one. I'm a hard worker, and I'm just ready to go lead that team.
George McIntyre, the rest of the commit list, recruiting you hard. You now get to go from recruit to recruiter.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. I've been ready to recruit for a very long time, so we're ready to get whoever they need me to go get.
Once again, 5-star offensive tackle David Sanders Jr. is committed to Tennessee. CBS Sports HQ and 247 Sports.
Man, what an emotional roller coaster we just went on there, but it is official. Sanders is headed to the University of Tennessee. For more on events like this, recruiting, commitments, the transfer portal, make sure you're locked into 247sports.com. Coming up after the break, we are checking in with one of our reporters from 247 Sports, Ryan Callahan, about this big commitment. for Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers here on HQ as they get the top offensive lineman prospect in the class of 2025 as David Sanders is officially a Tennessee Volunteer. Of course, you saw that commitment play out right here live on CBS Sports HQ. But let's talk about his impact for the Vols as he moves into that next phase of his career. And to do so, we begin Ryan Callahan, Tennessee reporter for 247 Sports. All right, Ryan, so they got Faison Brandon a couple weeks ago, which we'll discuss in a moment. But right now, Sanders is officially joining the team with Tennessee. What are your thoughts on his big commitment?
Well, Tom Loy said it there at the ceremony, just a massive win here for Tennessee. And the Vols have started to do this on a bit more of a regular basis. They've got more of a track record to sell from the past couple of years under Josh Heupel's staff. Now you're starting to see them pick up some recruiting wins, but this one's on another level. This was a player that everyone in the country coveted, number 3 overall player in the 2025 class, a bookend tackle for them to build their offensive line around for the next few years and add to an offense that's already got a reputation for putting up a lot of points. So there's clearly going to be a lot of excitement about what this could mean for the future of Tennessee's offense, including some of those quarterbacks you mentioned. Obviously, Nico Iamaleava on the current roster, and then Faison Brandon in the future. But David Sanders is a potentially dominant player in the long run, and certainly has all kinds of potential. This is a huge win. Just beating out programs like Ohio State, Nebraska, Georgia, that speaks for itself. And this kind of sends a message for Tennessee too. I think just being able to win a player like this that didn't have any immediate ties to Tennessee aside from being in a neighboring state, that's a big deal for this program as they continue to look to take the next step.
Yeah, he's now the best prospect in the class of 2025 for Tennessee, so obviously a big get. I talked to Andrew Ivins about this earlier as well, because you can never have enough solid, healthy linemen on your roster. He obviously checks the boxes when it comes to size and strength, versatility, but when you watch his skill set, how do you think it will translate from the high school ranks into the college football world?
Yeah, he's a lean offensive tackle, so people might look at him being 290 pounds right now and say, well, he's got to gain some weight before he's really going to be ready to play. But I think he won't have any trouble with that. He's already put on quite a bit of weight over the past year to year and a half. Played through a shoulder injury last year that kept him from building on that strength, and still up to 290 this offseason, which is a big jump from where he was about a year and a half ago. So he's going to be, I think, the guy that's got a chance to be a day one starter, or certainly a day one contender for immediate playing time. And that's it's hard to find those guys. The offensive line is such a developmental position, but he's so quick, so athletic, has such a long frame, and so strong for a guy his age that I think it's going to be hard for Tennessee to keep him off the field, frankly, just because of the stature of this kind of player and just how hard it is to get a player like this that has that kind of potential.
He was getting pass rushing reps this past season. He's a former swimmer. He throws the discus and the shot put, so clearly a lot of versatility there playing in. I want to go back and talk about Tennessee as a whole here, because you alluded to it, right? They are really focusing on building up the class of the future here. And I want to turn our attention to this full screen we have on the screen here. When it comes to Tennessee's current recruiting ranks, prior to this commitment, they were 8th. Adding in this guy, and now they jump up to 6th in terms of the overall recruiting class for the class of 2025. Of course, they get David Sanders there as the top recruit in their class. But what excites you about what Tennessee is doing for the future, and how does Josh Heupel keep getting away with this?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the quarterback wins are one thing. Obviously, Josh Heupel's got a heck of a track record at the quarterback position, from guys like Dylan Gabriel and Mackenzie Milton at UCF to Drew Lock at Missouri. He's had good quarterbacks everywhere he's been. But to see Tennessee winning these kinds of battles at other positions now, this, again, I think sends a message about what Tennessee is capable of doing on the recruiting trail. And that's the thing, the depth of this class now. Tennessee now has 8 players ranked in the top 150 nationally in 247 Sports rankings. So David Sanders, certainly the headliner of that class, but far from the only elite player that they beaten out some really good competition to land. So that's the impressive thing to me, is we're seeing Tennessee win these types of battles on a more regular basis now, and that makes it much easier to project Tennessee as a potential college football playoff team maybe in the future.
I tell you what, they're getting a lot of us excited here, hopping on that volunteer train in the future, adding a guy like David. I was going to call him David Sampson, LOL. David Sanders on the recruiting trail there, but obviously a big day for him. Ryan, thank you so much for hopping on and giving us a little insight about what he brings to the table. And I'll remind you again, 247 Sports is the place to go for all things high school, college recruiting, transfer portal, top prospect, whatever you want, they've got it. Make sure you subscribe to their YouTube page, as well as checking them out on the .com.